Welcome to Move with Freedom Yoga. My name is Michelle, and in today's video, we're going to be working on inversions. Inversions are my favorite postures to do in a yoga practice. But before we get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also leave a kind comment in the comment section as to what your favorite inversion is. I'll be presenting 3 of my favorite inversions and showing you different ways to get into them. So the first one is going to be Bakasana, which is crow pose. Another name for it is crow pose. The second one would be Shirshasana or headstand. And the last one will be a good old-fashioned handstand, which I absolutely love. Before we get started with our inversions, I just want to talk about the benefits of inversions. So inversions add strength to your practice, upper body strength, because normally you are on your hands. You could be on your head as well. So you're upside down, and your hands will be your feet, or your head will be your feet. So you're upside down. Inversions change your perspective, literally change your perspective. So something that you will seeing right side up, you'll be seeing that same thing upside down. And that could also be a metaphor for life, right? When we change our perspective, we see things in a different way, and maybe we'll come up with different solutions to some of our issues. So that's a benefit of inversions. I think inversions are super fun. I have always loved to be upside down, even as a child, and now as I'm older, much older, I still love inversions. I love to get upside down. What I notice when I teach my yoga classes, though, is some people are afraid to go upside down. They don't like the idea of their head being lower than their heart, right? They want to stay solid on the ground. We all want to feel safe and secure, but I find that doing inversions builds up a sense of confidence, a sense of pride. So if that's something that you want to work on, you might want to give inversions a try. So some other things to talk about for inversions. Now, I do not think that if you do not have inversions such as handstands, headstands, shoulder stands in your yoga practice, that you are not a yogi. What you want to think of is, what are your goals? Do you have a goal of going upside down? If it's not something that you have a goal to do, then skip it. Don't do it. Keep that in mind as you're practicing. And please keep that in mind as I'm presenting this workshop on inversions. Okay, Move with Freedom family. Let's get started with our first posture of the day, which is Bakasana. One of my favorite postures to teach. This is an arm balance. And in this arm balance, you have your knees supported on your arms. So your knees supported on your arms. So you want to think of your arms as a shelf. The elbows will be bent, and your knees will be placed on the backs of your elbows, really your triceps, but really close to the back of your elbows. So to get started, I always start in Malasana, or that wide yogi squat. And you can get into this posture any way you want, from a standing position, and then come down, get into that wide-legged squat. Bring your hands to your heart center. Your elbows are going to be on the inside of your knees, and we're going to hold this position. So if coming into crow pose is not something that you want to do, but you want to build the strength, get the strength benefits of the posture, this is a great place to start and stay. So your hands are in the heart center. You're going to take your elbows and push the elbows out into the knees, push the knees apart, and hold here. So if you want the strength building portion of it, I'm going to turn to the side to show you. So we're here with the hands at heart center, elbows pushing into the knees. We're going to lift the hips knee height, and then come back down. So if we're building strength here, we're going to come back down. So whether you are going into Bakasana or not, we still need this ability to lift those hips up and add strength to the lower body. Now to go forwards, working into Bakasana, we're going to take the hands apart, lift the hips, push into the hands, and come right back down. So if you have your Bakasana or crow pose on your yoga checklist of inversions, then this is a great place to start. Even if you do not have Bakasana on your inversion checklist, this is a great place to start. So what we're doing is, as the hands hit the floor or touch the floor, you're spreading the fingers on the floor, pushing into all 5 fingers on the right and the left side, looking forward, transferring the weight into the hands, looking forwards, and then coming right back down and giving yourself a rest. Let's do 2 more like that. Push into the hands, look forward, and then come back down. Notice that my toes are still on the ground here. Perfect. And then over time, as you're practicing, as your hands come down, you look forward, place your weight into one leg as you lift the other leg up, and then come back down. Let's repeat lifting the other leg. And you might stay there for a few days, a few months, however long it takes for you to feel comfortable. Because you're standing on your hands. And then over time, both legs could come up together, or they stay apart. Another way to get into your crow pose is to use a block, handy dandy block. I do suggest that you choose a sturdy block. Your block goes in front of you on the floor, and you're going to think head to block, forehead to block, forehead to block. And so your hands are spread out, same cues as before. As you come forward, your forehead is going to touch the block. So as you come forward, your forehead touches the block. What that does is it provides another point of contact for your stability. So notice now, if I'm on my hands and feet, I have 4 points of contact. When my head goes on the block, there's that 5th point of contact to start. Hands on the floor, look forward, plant your forehead on the block. And now you still have 4 points of contact on the floor initially if you're lifting one leg at a time. And then if you lift both legs, you'll have 3 points of contact rather than 2. So let me demonstrate. I'm going to lift both legs. Look forward, head to the block. 5 points of contact. I'm going to lift up one leg and then the other. So now I have 3 points of contact. My hands are still holding me up, but I have my head as another point of stability. Next way to use the block is to stand on the block. So in order to do your Bakasana, you want to have height to your hip. And so that's why doing this movement of lifting the hips knee height is useful, because you're building up the strength of your quadriceps and your hips and your core muscles over time. If you want to continue to work the hips, then we're going to add standing on the block. Just be careful, again, solid block. I can't emphasize that enough. Hands on the floor, and you're going to climb both feet on the block. So notice right away that my hips have lifted higher because I'm standing on the block. Hands are coming down, so you have a diagonal line, more of a diagonal line from your shoulder down to your hands. and you're still looking forwards. One leg, or both feet off the ground. And then when you're ready to come down, the block is there for you. So that is Bakasana, crow pose. All right, let's keep going with this video, and I'm going to present Shirshasana or headstand. When you come up onto your headstand, and this is very important, let me stop and look at the camera and say, we do not, under any circumstance, jump into a headstand. We use the muscles of our belly and we arrive into a headstand. You're going to take your thumb into your ears and the middle finger on the top of your head. Thumb to your ears, middle finger on the top of your head. That space where your middle fingers meet is where you want to place your head on the floor. That is the middle of your head for the most part. That's the middle of your head. So here we go. I'm going to place the middle of my head on the floor. I'm looking back towards my belly button. I'm going to come up on my toes and lift my knees off the ground. Stay here if you're just starting out. Feel the support of the hands behind your head and your forearms on the ground. To go further, walk your feet toward your hands, lifting your hips higher. Notice how your weight is transferred to your head and your hands. To practice, pick up one leg and hold, and then repeat to the other side. Engage your belly as you lift your leg. Squeeze the muscles of your legs from the hip to the heel. Engage the whole leg, and we'll repeat. To go further, one leg can come up, and then maybe lift the toe of the other leg. I'm pushing down into my forearms as my legs go up. And then I can point the toes, squeeze my thighs together. Another variation would be having bend knees. And do your best to straighten out your hips. To come out, one leg goes onto the floor, and then the other leg joins it. Then the knees can come down, and you can choose to go into a child's pose or any other restorative pose that you have. So I'm going to show another version using your hands on the floor. This is called a tripod headstand. So you want to think of a triangle, same setup as your traditional headstand or Shirshasana, coming onto the forearm, or to the knees, and the hands plant on the floor. So we have the one side of the triangle, bottom side, and then the other side of the triangle. Your head will be the top of the triangle. So you want to take your head down onto the floor and look to see that you're making a triangle. Top of the head, right hand, left hand. I'm going to tuck my toes under and lift the hips. Walking my feet forward so the top part of my head is on the floor. Hands are pushing down into the mat, providing stability. You can stay here and just feel how your head is taking the weight of your body. Your hands are taking the weight of your body as well. When you're ready to do more, plant one leg on the floor and lift one foot on the floor and lift the other leg. Same cue here. Squeeze the glutes and place and flex all muscles of your leg, the lifted leg. And then switch sides. The leg that's on the floor is pushing down into the floor. And then come down. Hands and knees, make your triangle. The top part of your head, remember you're going to test thumbs into your ears, middle finger on the top part of your head. That's where your head is going to be placed on the ground. Tuck the toes under. Walk the feet forward. Using the strength of your core muscles, lift up your legs as you push your hands down. I know my voice is probably shaky, but that's what my brain or my voice does when I'm upside down. And then squeeze your knees together. Maybe squeeze your feet together. Another version would be to open the legs. Pointing the toes or flexing. Ah, this feels great. To come out, you can lower one leg at a time or both legs. Touching down your toes. And then coming to the knees. And again, assuming a child's pose or some other restorative pose. So that was Shirshasana, 2 ways, headstand, either a tripod headstand or more traditional headstand. So here we go. We're going to do our strengthening on the wall. So stand near the wall, maybe about an arm's distance away. And I'm going to turn my body towards the wall. So with my hand, using my hand on the wall as a guide, this is where being where my feet are placed, that's where my hands are going to go. My hands are going to go where my feet are. So I'm going to replace my feet with my hands. And I'm going to kick up. This is okay now. I'm going to kick up towards the wall and my feet land on the wall. And here we go. And I'm going to hold. Pushing into your hands, looking down at your hands. Your eyes are gazing down to your hands and energize down into the floor. And this is your handstand. And then you'd hold that for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, minute and a half, and keep going as you get stronger. So let's go ahead and go back to the wall again. And I'll show you a different way to do it. So same measurement, your hand is straight. This is where I want my hand, so I'm going to turn around. Right? So I know that that's how far the distance of my hands are. I'm going to place my hands on the floor, replacing my feet with my hands. And then I'm going to walk up the wall. And here we go. So notice what I'm saying is my shoulder, my elbow, and wrists are in alignment. They're right underneath my hips. That is how you would start holding your body up. So we're not looking for the wall for balance. We're looking to hold ourselves up on our hands to form that strengthening power to take it in the middle of the mat. So to start, bend, flex at the hips and take the hands down onto the floor. Notice how my arm is in a diagonal line. That's not going to hold the weight of my arm, my body. A diagonal line is not going to hold the weight of your body. Take the hands down. So we'll start in downward facing dog. And downward facing dog is a diagonal line. In order to get a straight line, I'm going to walk my feet closer to my hands. And now notice my hands are straight up and down. My head is in the middle of my arms. Now, initially, I'm not going to look to hold the posture. I'm just going to get upside down. So I'm looking at my feet. I'm going to walk my left foot forward and lift my right leg. The right leg is going to come up and down to practice this motion that I want. Over time, as I kick the right leg up, I'm going to jump off my left leg like this. Notice I'm doing my best to keep my head in the middle of my straight arms. And then I'll do the other side. And lift and lower. So we'll do some frog hops. So come to your downward facing dog. Bring your feet about hip width apart. You're going to look forward as you hop, bend the knees, and we'll do one without hopping. So I'm going to extend, as you extend the knees, your arms go into alignment with your shoulders. Back and up. Back and up. Now we're going to add a little hop. And then maybe go all the way up. Focus less on going all the way up. At first, focus less on that and focus more on your alignment. Find your alignment point. Find your point of balance first before you say, I'm going to go all the way up. We want to work each step, the foundation of our handstands, and then go all the way up to your full handstand. All right, so that's it. That is the end of this inversions workshop, going over handstands, headstands, and bakasana or crow pose. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. Like I said, inversions are one of my favorite things to do. What I want to, again, emphasize is take your time. If handstands and headstands and all the inversions that we do are not your goal, think about it more as a way to strengthen your body so that you're not thinking of, I have to do a handstand or headstand, but think about the steps that it takes to get there and know that those steps that it takes to get there are really great for your body. So regardless of whether you go up or not, or upside down or not, and hold the posture for however many minutes or hours, it doesn't matter. You are getting a great foundation for your practice, and you're doing something great for your body, regardless of what the end outcome is. Yoga is a practice, not a perfect. And we want to encourage you to remember that always as you're practicing any posture in your yoga journey. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, again, enjoyed teaching this class. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, leave a kind comment. What was your favorite, or what is your favorite inversion? And I hope to see you soon. And as always, in parting, be well.